Hey all, Patrick here, and we are going to talk FIPS in 5 minutes. So what is FIPS? FIPS is an acronym. It stands for Federal Information Processing Standards. It's a set of computer security and interoperability standards maintained by NIST, the National Institute for Standards and Technology, and it comes out of some legislation dating back to 2002 called FISMA. So why should you care about FIPS, and who should care about FIPS? FIPS applies to non-military federal agencies. It applies to federal contractors and vendors. It applies to state governments when they administer federal programs. But also it applies when a private organization wants to sell a cloud service to the federal government, so to become a cloud service provider. So if you want to sell your cloud service to the federal government, then you are going to have to care about FIPS. So how do you get authorized to work with a federal agency or with the federal government? The most common path is through one of various ATO, authorization to operate processes. And the most common ATO process is FedRAMP. So ATO processes like FedRAMP can be pretty lengthy processes. They have a number of components, but one requirement, which is particularly onerous for cloud service providers, CSPs, looking to sell their cloud service to the federal government, is FIPS 140-2, FIPS 140-3. So FIPS 140-3 is a revision of FIPS 142. FIPS 142 is going to continue to be in effect until September 2026, but eventually will be replaced by FIPS 143. So what is FIPS 142 and FIPS 143? They are a requirement that federal agencies use what are called FIPS-validated cryptographic modules. So in this context, a cryptographic module is a technology that provides signing, hashing, encryption, or some other algorithm. And in order for one of these cryptographic modules to be considered FIPS-validated, it needs to go through a program called Cryptographic Module Validation Program, CMVP. Now, this is quite an extensive program. There are 21 labs throughout the country that perform these tests. They can take multiple years with a lot of back and forth. So in order to become a cloud service provider, you don't necessarily have to go through CMVP. However, everything within the boundary of your application and application infrastructure, your cloud service, will have to use FIPS-validated cryptographic modules. And if you want to provide your own cryptographic module, then in that case, you would have to go through CMVP. So FIPS 142 and FIPS 143 recognize 4 levels of security. At the first level, you're only required to use what they call production grade hardware, and you do have to use FIPS validated cryptographic modules. As you move up these security levels, there are increasing requirements around specific operating systems that are approved, role and identity-based authentication, and also tamper-evident and tamper-resistant hardware. So we're almost to the end of our 5-minute overview, but here's one main takeaway. Everything within the boundary of your application or cloud service that you're providing to the federal government is required to use FIPS-validated cryptographic modules. So that means all of your container images and all of the packages and libraries within those container images. So something you might want to check out earlier in your ATO journey is Chainguard's FIPS-enabled images that all use FIPS-validated cryptographic modules. And we also have some awesome initiatives related to FIPS, so including our kernel-independent FIPS images, and we'll be creating some videos and content soon about those. So thank you all, and have a good one.